Having lost her husband and taking responsibility for three children, Parvati, who had not learned to read and write, felt as if the sky had fallen on her head. How would her family run in the future? What would be the future of her children? Despite having a BCom degree, her eldest son Girish was left without a permanent job. Veena, who had just completed her PUC, was supposed to join a degree college. All the relatives who attended Raya's last rites gave her so much courage. No matter how much anyone said, there was no end to her wailing. Then her brother Shashidhar too stood firm to help her. Sister, don't be so panicked. Keep your mind on stone and look after the well being of your children. I will lend you my shoulder to lead this family. In the next 2 years, your house will definitely reach a certain level, he said, reassuring Parvati. Shashidhar did as his uncle told him. He was a senior clerk in a private bank and would visit his sister's house every day after finishing his work. Whenever his uncle came home, the children would get a new lease of life. Due to his constant efforts, his eldest son Girish got a job in the post office where his father worked. Similarly, he would visit his brother in law's house dozens of times and diligently ensure that he received the due money, PF, gratuity, etc. on time. With that money, he first ensured that Veena's marriage went smoothly. Since a two-room house was built on a 40 by 60 site while Raya was still alive, there was no problem with housing. Otherwise, it would not have been easy to run a middle-class family in today's expensive times in Mysore by paying rent. In this way, Veena became the mother of a child. After a long time, an atmosphere of happiness prevailed in that house. Since Girish had a job and his situation had improved a bit, Parvati wanted him to get married too. After inquiring about the relationship of 4-6 people, the elder sister decided that it would be best to bring a girl from a poor family. Then, heading to that house, the younger Shiva wanted a loving daughter in law to take care of his visiting Veena and brought Saroja, a girl from a poor family, to Girish. Saroja was the eldest in a house full of three daughters. She had studied only up to PUC and was taking care of the household while serving her bedridden ailing mother. She simply changed her necklace at the temple, wore the silk saree and Mangal Sutra that Parvati had given her and went straight to their house to eat. After simply eating the festive clothes that Parvati had arranged, her family left at 4 p.m. Shashidhar was relieved that the family of his elder sister's house had come to a standstill. There was hope that Shiva, who was the last one left, would study well and settle down. The happiness of that house did not last long. Parvati, who had contracted a bad fever, was bedridden. Her illness worsened day by day. Even after 20 days in the hospital, there was no sign of recovery. Parvati, who had insisted on dying at home, breathed her last 15 days after coming home from the hospital. Death had knocked on the door of that house again. Girish and Saroja were relieved that the hospital had spared them, but Shiva was heartbroken and cried. Veena had also rushed from Bangalore. Shiva was worried that his only support had left him. She used to inquire about all his troubles and advise him. Now he seemed to have lost his way. Veena left for her in-laws' house after completing 14 days of Karmantra. As long as she was there, he was comfortable as his mother. When Veena also left, he was really upset. His brother and sister-in-law had not shown him affection from the beginning. Girish rarely spoke to him and his sister-in-law did not like even seeing his shadow. She used to get angry at him, saying that he was a big burden on the house. She was waiting for the house where they lived to be completely under her control, when this boy would leave the house. Shiva, who had passed the 10th standard, could easily identify the tricks of his brother and sister-in-law. He was supposed to get admission in college by now. But because of this situation at home, no one paid any attention to him. How many days will you sit there grieving? Shiva himself brought an application from the government PUC college to go and apply for his college admission. Girish was struggling to pay for it. If this happened now, Shiva wondered what he would do for his college expenses in the future. Let's take a look at his mother's passbook. Parvati used to say that she had kept rupees 1 lakh separately for Shiva's education. He took out the bank passbook from his mother's old box to see its details. On seeing it, his strength was gone. All the money had disappeared and only the minimum balance of rupees 1000 was left. Immediately, Shiva ran to his brother and asked. He calmly read the paper and said, What do I know? There was rupees 1 lakh in it. Mom had kept it separately for my education, Shiva said with a frown. You knew there was rupees 1 lakh in it, so shouldn't you know where that money went? Girish accused himself as if he didn't know anything. Brother, remember a little. Did mom give you anything for my college fees? Hey, are you really smart? A big man who has just come to the panchayat. You are the one who has been walking around holding mom's hand for 3 days. Mom must have given you all the money. Are you acting like I shouldn't ask anything about it? Have you ever seen me ask mom about money? What do I need money for now? To spend mom's money as you said. Brother, what are you saying? Can I get money from my mother without you knowing? Has my mother hidden anything from you till today? Never. As soon as my uncle brought the money from my father's office, did my mother first think about Veena's marriage? Was not the remaining amount in the bank in my mother's name? That's why my mother kept telling everyone that I should continue my studies. You are not the one who will spend on my further studies, so my mother must have done this. Shut up, don't talk so arrogantly. If you ask for justice, how can you talk arrogantly? Didn't your mother save money like this with the intention that I should not be a financial burden to you? What more can I ask for? Do whatever you think is right. Shiva cut the conversation short. What more could he argue than that? Parvati had a habit from the past. She used to sign the check leaves in advance and keep them. If he wanted to withdraw pension money from the bank at the beginning of the month, Shiva would not wait for this signature, but would rather enter the amount of money in it and bring it. Every now and then, whenever he was late, he would go to Veena's house or to a friend's house, and the money would always reach the house. Girish, who knew about this habit of Parvati, had encashed the checks with her signature. When Shiva searched his mother's box again, he could not find any of her old jewelry there. It was clear to him who had stolen the checkbook and jewelry. Remembering all this, Shiva's eyes filled with tears again. That whole day his mind was heavy, remembering his mother and father. If they had been alive, he would not have come to this fate today. After all this, would he still be able to join college? He opened his mouth and humbly asked Girish, Brother, tomorrow is the last day to pay the admission fee for college. The fee and books will be 15,000. Will you somehow adjust it this evening and give it to me? Where can I get it from? I can't even manage to run a house and take care of my child on the salary I get. Where else can you get the money for your fees? Do you still have to climb the college stairs and cut and paste? Join some garage or factory. If you really want to study, join an evening college or correspondence course with your own earnings. It's not like you have been sitting at home all these days and cutting coral. Learn a little job and earn 4 paisa to bring home. Then you will know how hard I have been working, he said, waving his hand. Shiva, who was sure that his elder brother would not spend a single penny on his education, without much argument accepted their wishes and joined a private company as an office boy for rupees 7,000. It took him 2 months to get that job. During those 2 months, every time his sister in law Saroja gave him a handful of rice, she would say, Why are you so desperate? Shouldn't you go somewhere and work as a wage earner? If you earn 4 paisa and bring it home, will your limbs wear out? A growing child. Shouldn't you be feeding so many people and covering all the household expenses? Her sarcastic remarks were like arrows stabbing his chest. How many days had it been since he had had coffee? She would make 1,000 jobs for lunch at noon and 2 at night. From fetching water from a distant borewell to doing all the household chores, she would make him laugh 100 times. Shiva would keep quiet, wondering if his sister in law would show her affection when he was not his own brother. He didn't want to hurt her feelings by telling Veenakka all this. She had a full family at her in law's house. If he had asked for too much, She would have kept him there and sent him to college, but Shiva struggled to find a job on his own so that he wouldn't be a nuisance to her in law's family. If he did all this, he would leave the house, and then, if he had such a big house in his possession, his share would be his own, and Saroja would torture him to no end out of selfishness. Would the elder brother, who used to get angry at the sight of his younger brother, listen to him if he complained against his wife? Shiva would not say anything in front of his elder brother, saying that the anger of a poor man is the root of his jaw. He would forget all his sorrows in playing with his elder brother's child Sneha. As soon as he told the news of getting a job at home, he was ordered to give 5,000 rupees. He did not make breakfast or lunch in the can so early in the morning. He would have a cup of coffee before leaving for work and two handfuls of rice at night. Even after returning home at 7 or 8 pm, there was a lot of housework waiting for him. Thus 2 months passed. Knowing that his life would not prosper, Shiva joined a correspondence course and started studying for his PUC in the arts department. He would wake up at 5 am, start by fetching water, and be ready for work by 7 am. He would work as a donkey in the office from 8 am to 6 pm and return at 7 pm, have another cup of black coffee, do more work. By the time he sat down with his book, it was past 10 pm. He was not allowed to turn on the lights after 10 pm. He would study his lectures during his breaks. However, Saroja could not bear it. She was jealous that he could earn a salary, but he could not afford a permanent home. One Sunday, as usual, he was washing his Sneha's and his brother's clothes. Then Sneha's uniform and brother's clothes had to be ironed. Meanwhile, Anna, who was in front of the TV, heard her sister-in-law speak. Tell him two things out loud from now on. He has been doing this to him day and night. What is my karma? Shiva did not know what Anna had whispered to her. He felt that the day was not far off when he would have to leave this house. He was very distressed that he would have to leave the house where his mother and father lived, the house where he was born and raised. But only if he did that, he felt that he would have enough food to eat and he would be able to focus on his studies without this donkey work. Yes, he thought he would stay in this house for as long as he had to. Sometimes he would be late in finishing work. Once, by the time he reached home, it was 9 pm. The house was locked. He opened the door with another fake key he had and entered. He was very tired, and when he went to the kitchen to drink water, the door was locked. They used to do this whenever they went on trips. They would leave without giving him a single hint. Now Shiva immediately called his brother. He said that he had gone to Saroja's hometown, that he would leave for 4 days after the trip and that he would stay at home. Girish hung up the phone. He felt very sad that he had nothing to eat and not even water to drink in such a long time. But who could he show his anger to? After thinking a lot, he decided to go to his friend's Arun's room, who was nearby. Since it was the end of the month, he did not have money to eat outside. When he came to his friend's room, he said that his family had gone to town and that he was very bored and would stay here tonight. When they insisted that he eat there, he burst into tears. He ate the food they had prepared, forgot his sorrows, and engaged in a chat with them. The next morning, when he got home, he had made a firm decision. When they returned from the village, Shiva directly told his brother, who was on Sunday off the next day, "Tell him that I don't want to eat at this house. Make arrangements for my food and snacks somewhere else. I have had enough of this torture." Hearing that, Saroja said to him, "Oh, has your arrogance reached that level? I have been making it for you by hand for the past 6 months. Why are you complaining now? Oh, isn't it arrogant to say that you are earning it yourself? Are you all doing this just to make me go away? You have been cooking for 6 months. That is not a waste of money. Haven't I been counting my salary for the last 4 months? Didn't you spend the rupees 1 lakh that my mother had? Isn't that a small amount?" Shiva, who had endured enough, burst out. "After all these rituals, it is inevitable to leave home and go away. So, what is wrong with the bitterness in my heart?" Why are you so fat? You ate and got fat. Aren't you ashamed to accuse us of such a big thing? Girish shouted angrily. Why are you so angry if you tell me what you saw? I am not imagining things. Why did you go and work as an office boy like a person who has nothing to do with it? Oh, if you had been admitted to college, what a great IAS officer you would have become. If I had not done IAS, I would have gotten a degree with honor, just like you. Don't take care of me like a father, it's just taking away everything that's mine. Before Shiva could finish speaking, Girish slapped his brother on the cheek. Shiva, who was helpless, stood with his head down, unable to do anything else. From today on, you and I are free from debt. Go anywhere and get ruined. Don't show your miserable face, Girish said, walking towards the room. Saroja followed her husband, grumbling, Tu, tu, tu. I have never seen or heard of such a brother. No one would hate even a stepbrother like this. What misfortune has befallen him? She went to her room and slammed the door shut. Meanwhile, there was the sound of someone opening the gate and coming inside. Veena suddenly arrived with her two children. Shiva was standing there in a daze. The door to the inner room was locked. Even Girish Anna's daughter Sneha was nowhere to be seen. Everything seemed strange. When stared at Shiva, he wiped his tears as if he didn't want them to show and tried to greet her with a fake smile. Veena had come to Mysore for the wedding of her relative. That evening there was a wedding ceremony. It was said that her husband Suresh would come straight to his brother-in-law's house in the evening and take Veena and the children directly to the wedding hall from there. Veena said that she would come home, inquire about everyone and leave. And since it was Sunday, she had reached her home in Mysore by 11 a.m. But the situation here, it seemed like she had come for some reason. Even after an hour of coming home, Anna's room door had not been opened. Did you come? No one asked how you were. Veena clearly guessed that something had happened. Shiva did not say anything about it, but inquired about the children's well-being and feelings and took them out to give them something. Saroja, who came out after a long time, asked, Oh Veena, when did you come? Did you come alone? Where are the children? Will the family come? She asked. Then Veena told her that she had come for a wedding. Without even offering coffee or water to the person who came, Saroja turned on the TV and sat down. After that, Girish came out of the room and looked at Veena and asked, When did you come? Without waiting for an answer, she said, Saroja, I will go to my friend's side for a while, and left. Out of formality, the sister-in-law brought some snacks and without even asking her if she wanted to eat, she became engrossed in the TV. Clearly realizing that she was an unwanted guest, Veena waited for Shiva to bring the children back. As soon as Shiva arrived, she said, Sister-in-law, my little relative has already reached the zoo. She said, Take the children and come there. Let's go to the Kalyana Mandapa together. I will come. And she got up. Sister-in-law, come often, she said, and Saroja gave her kumkum and instructed her to leave. Shiva told his sister-in-law that he would drop his sister off at the zoo and brought an auto. Veena and the children were heading to the zoo. What happened? Veena asked, and Shiva explained everything that had happened that day. They are trying to throw you out of that house and take over the entire house for themselves. No matter what happens, you must have a part of that house. If you sell the house, take half, don't give it away. She expressed concern on behalf of her brother. After feeding them food and waiting until her brother-in-law came at 4 p.m., Shiva went straight to his friend's room. Talking to him, he asked if he could shift from that house and come here soon. He said that it would not be difficult for the fourth person to adjust in that room where there were three. Come any time. He was paying 4,000 for that two-room sheet house. Shiva calculated that it would be better to come and live here, calculating his share of 1,000 and the cost of food. He could continue his studies without any worries. When he finished eating in his friend's room and came home at 9 p.m., no one asked if he was alive. All the utensils in the kitchen had gone to the closet. The person who had come there to drink water realized that he would not get anything else in that house except water. The next day, Girish called his brother and said, We don't want this kind of disagreement and fighting every day. I want to sell this house. Let's go to the lawyer's office tomorrow and ask what the procedure is to sell it. A friend of mine has been asking for a long time. Let's finish everything at once, he said. Shiva swallowed, unable to answer. He knew this day would come someday, but so soon. He felt sad and sad that the house his father had built would be gone forever. He nodded and left. The house was sold for 6 lakhs. Girish, calculating how much he had paid in installments on the house loan after getting a job, gave him only 2 lakhs instead of 3 lakhs and ordered, "Vacate the house quickly tomorrow. We are moving to a new rented house." It never occurred to him to give some money to his sister and brother under the pretext of turmeric and saffron. He had lost affection for his younger sister and brother. Even if they were there or died, he would not care. Shiva had come to his sister's house in Bangalore to give 1 lakh of the money he had received to his sister. Veena refused to accept the money outright. His brother in law also said, "The money from selling that house belongs to both of you. She doesn't want any of it." He thought that if his father had been there and given it to him, he wouldn't have received it as a gift for turmeric and saffron. So he made a fixed deposit in his sister's name, forcibly gave her a receipt, and left. He didn't want her in laws to use that as an excuse and criticize her later. Later, Shiva's new life began in his friend's room. Knowing his limitations, he kept the money he had in the bank, set aside the money for room rent and meals, and continued to save money very frugally. In this way, 5 years passed without any ups and downs, and he got his degree. He got an accountant job in a private firm, though through no offices he knew. Later, he gradually rented a house and married a poor girl from an orphanage who had no one to turn to. No one from his elder brother's house came to his wedding. His uncle Shashidhar stood as the elder person. His elder sister stood in front and performed a simple one-day wedding. His wife Sarita, knowing the joys and sorrows of his life, held his hand and moved forward. He had an only son, Manoj. When it was time to go to the convent, Sarita also joined the workforce. And so 10 years passed by. Shiva had now brought a small house. He was happy with a wise wife, cute son, and a small clean family. Meanwhile, his son was about to join engineering. Veena would come and go often. The families of his elder sister and brother were close. Even though they lived in the same town, he never got to see his elder brother. Even though he never went looking for him on his own, Shiva would come to know about things from them. Earlier, there was a daughter, Sneha, and then there were twin daughters named Sanjana and Sahana. As the father of 3 daughters, Girish had to take on more responsibility. His wife, who always ruled the house, would spend a lot of money on everything without any control and would hold a party. After moving to a new house, she would spend as how she pleased without the interference of anyone. Girish got used to going to parties excessively and he learned the habit of women. Gradually, he would not be able to do without a bottle a day. Later, his addiction grew and whenever he felt like it, he would go to the toilet. Otherwise, he would have fallen on the road by the time he reached home drunk. All the children had joined degree colleges. Girish, who had given up the idea of marriage, was a slave to alcohol. One day, Veena called Shiva and said, "Shiva, Girishanna has been admitted to the hospital in a very serious condition." Shiva went to his brother with his wife and sister. Saroja could not bear the fact that they had come. "Did you just come to see me? No one is helping me to pay the hospital bill," she said bluntly. When Veena insisted that she should pay the bill herself, Shiva reassured her that there was no need for that as he was a central government employee. The money would be paid from the office. And so with a heavy heart they left. This time Girish somehow escaped danger. He had to undergo an intestinal operation due to excessive alcohol consumption. Experts warned that if the situation worsened, his kidneys would also be affected. He had to donate blood urgently during the operation. Shiva had donated blood himself. Even though he knew that very well, Anna's sister-in-law did not even say a word of gratitude or even let Shiva speak. Saroja went a step further and directly told Veena, "Let him go. How could he not do so much for his brother?" And so Girish somehow managed to go to the office. Half a month was spent on leave due to fatigue and suffering. Since it was a government job, it was left. If it had been private, he would have lost his job if someday. Saroja was exhausted due to the responsibility of three daughters, their education expenses, and Girish's half salary. She was struggling to make ends meet as before. After 6 months, Girish had to undergo another major operation. Knowing her sister in law's wisdom, Veena Shiva did not go to the hospital on their own this time. Even after 1 month of discharge, he could not find the strength to go to work. Sahib called him from the office and said, "See, if your boss cannot come to work, tell him to take voluntary retirement," he shouted. Finally, Saroja used the pretext of children and to help her, gave her a job as an attendant in the same office as she studied, and so the family continued. Since her father's health had completely deteriorated and he was bedridden, her eldest daughter Sneha left school and stayed at home to serve him. While her mother worked and her younger sisters went to college, she was busy with housework and hospital visits. 6 months passed like this. One day, Girish died of a severe heart attack. When everyone arrived, Saroja's husband's funeral was over. Shiva stood in front and performed the last rites and other rituals for his brother. When Veena Shiva left, Saroja started crying loudly. "I am a woman. What should I do with these three daughters? How should I provide for their future? How should I get them married? Sister-in-law, don't think anything. It will continue to happen as it had been for so long. When the time comes for their marriage, I will definitely help in my best way. The marriage of the daughters is important," Shiva said soothingly. "It would be good if everyone were in the same house now. This house would have a direction, a way to manage the family," Saroja said, and Veena looked at Shiva. Previously, this same woman had chased everyone out of the house, saying no one should come in. But now, reality had laughed out loud. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel.